Well, many in our community are still talking about the suspect in a high-profile case being found not guilty of attempted murder, sex assault, and kidnapping.
And today's Michael Hirokawa's first full day of freedom following the incident that happened back in 2020.
KITV4's Diane looks at the case's reaction on the community going forward.
Mr. Hirokawa, the court finds you not guilty of all of the charges in this case. This case is dismissed.
After days of deliberation, the jury of 10 men and 2 women found Michael Hirokawa not guilty. We won't know how they arrived at their unanimous verdict because the judiciary declined our request to talk to them, so we asked a law professor to opine.
I practiced criminal law for like 20 years, right? And I think I only had one case to where involuntary intoxication was used as a defense. This is a very, very rare defense because it's hard to prove.
Ken Lawson says the plaintiff's inconsistencies on the stand worked against her.
She first said she was drinking, then they had evidence on videotape that she was drinking. Other statements that they said that when the witness is inconsistent, no, I'm not surprised.
As did testimony about Hirokawa's character.
This defendant had a reputation of being gentle and kind and loving towards females.
In the end, how do you prove intent?
The trials come down to who tells the best story with the evidence.
The state told us it cannot file an appeal. Lawson explains why.
Double jeopardy precludes any more charges that arises out of this. That's why it's important to make sure that if you're going to bring the case, that you dot all your I's and cross all your T's.
Does this case send a message to other sexual assault victims?
Obviously a disappointing verdict for many of us who work in this area on behalf of survivors, victims. And do I think it's going to have an impact? I don't know if it will, but I am concerned that it might have an impact on survivors and their willingness to come forward.
Costales Matsuoka says these cases can be very difficult, and she is concerned other victims not be influenced by what happened in this trial.
Verdicts like this should not deter survivors from coming forward. It doesn't mean that it didn't happen to them.
She says just because the plaintiff did not prove her case beyond a reasonable doubt doesn't mean the woman wasn't injured. Diane Ko, KITV4 Island News.